Well, hello, friends.
Hey, girlie.
So sorry we're late on our episode, but we're otherwise engaged. We have stuff going on here in Philadelphia. What just happened tonight?
Go Birds, bitch, we won.
Go Birds!
We
really did that. Yeah, you and me specifically. We won the game. Go back!
And we're back.
We're back from the dead.
We are, well, almost back. I don't know.
Wait, I forgot to put my lip gloss on.
Yeah, I needed to load up on hydration. It was a long night, friends. There was a lot.
A long night.
Listen,
but fun.
It was fun until it wasn't.
Literally. That was our men out there.
That was our men out there. Us bird bitches were celebrating last night.
Honey, were we? It was a lot.
It was a lot.
I mean, Philly's version of celebrating is definitely setting the city on fire and, just
destruction.
But it was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like we should walk our listeners through what exactly went down with all of that. It's so interesting to me because I look back at it today, and of course I've seen all these crazy drone shots of the city and pictures of damage and social media clips of stuff happening. But for some reason, when we were in it, it didn't feel that
like that.
Crazy.
Yeah. I know. Well, it did. There were moments where I was like, "Oh, this shit's crazy."
The horses, the giant horses.
The horses.
I was like, "Yo."
There were just horses riding around the city, almost running people over.
Two different kinds, yeah. Police horses that were huge, and then just random Philly cowboys just riding around.
Yeah.
It
was scary, but fun.
It was fun.
Philly's version of fun is scary.
Yeah. I feel like now's as good a time as any before you get too into it to just sort of give context. We are talking about the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Just not even 24 hours ago. I can't believe it. I'm still kind of in disbelief.
I was with you literally until past 3 a.m., I believe.
Yeah, it was 3:30 by the time I crawled my rotting corpse into bed, Nosferatu. I was yeah.
What are you drinking, by the way?
But yeah, I am having a hair of the dog. I needed it today. It was
I'm having a nice freshly squeezed lemonade with a airplane bottle of vodka dumped in.
Beautiful. Yeah. I'm having a lime LaCroix with a little skosh of vodka and a little squeeze of lime because I wanted a little
nice little seltz, little citrus, little.
Yeah, I feel like the bubbles help. It's nice. Although, honestly, I really didn't feel like I got too out of hand last night. I mean, I was pretty reasonable.
No, we were good.
Yeah.
We were pretty good. We were drinking water in between.
Yeah.
Every few seltzers.
Yeah. I think the reason I feel more shitty today is because I didn't sleep. I went to bed at 3:30, 4 in the morning, and then I had to wake up with the dog at 6. So it was not great. Yeah. But it's okay. Yeah. And honestly, it was
didn't have to work.
Yeah. I was at home, honey. It was good.
I was home too, but it was rough. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Literally scraping myself up out of the bed.
So cruel that the Super Bowl is on Sunday.
I know. It really is.
All these big events, award shows on Sunday nights too. Too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Especially because I felt like we were counting down the whole day until it was time for it to go, and I was just I just want to get this show on the road, guys. By the time the game actually started, I was like,
Yeah, I was prepping since 3 o'clock. I was like, honey, this bitch better get the show on the road. I cannot.
Yeah, you were out there getting put to work, honey, at our friend's house.
I was getting put to work pre-gaming since 3.
Yeah. That house really does hold some magic, though, because that's where we were the first time they won, too.
True.
So magical. Same setup. We were in the kitchen watching the one without the delay. Thank you very much.
Yes, for those who don't know, we were at our friend Michelle's house. Shout out. And this was where we saw the Eagles win the first time. How many years ago was that? 2018, maybe?
Yeah, it was 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah. So we had to go back, obviously, for this one. She has a cute little apartment, but the setup is literally the living room and the kitchen are connected, and there's a TV in both. So some of us were huddled around the kitchen table watching on a smaller screen. Some of us were in the living room on the bigger screen.
Right.
Of course, we were in the kitchen because we're just always in the kitchen.
As gay people are wont to do at
As
house
gay
parties.
people, as gay people do,
Yeah, like moths to a flame.
Yep.
But honestly, it's really because that's like where the seltzers were, and we were like,
I was literally gonna say it's actually because that's where the alcohol is, but
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Mm.
yeah. No, it was, God, what an exciting game though, because, well, let me ask you it. Like, when did you feel like, oh, this is it. They got it. Like,
Honestly, felt I felt like even before the game started, I was like, oh, they feel like beyond ready to go. Like they just when they were like showing them getting ready and like warming up, I just was
yeah.
like, oh, they are
And then the
about to.
cheers when they announced each
Yes,
team coming out, it was literally like,
yes,
I mean, it might as well have been a home game. Like, they were booing the
yeah,
Chiefs and going nuts cheering for the Birds. It was like, I mean, come on.
yeah. Philly really showed up to New Orleans, as of course,
Of course they did.
Philly people with their sports, man.
Yeah.
It's another level.
Yeah.
It's like you don't really experience. I mean, I don't know because I've really never been to another city when another city's won anything, but here I just can't imagine it's like the same as it is here. Like it's
Something
like
else.
next
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Something else. I mean, yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love
I mean, I do feel like there was, I mean, it was before the game actually started, there was this sort of air of like confidence of like, we might actually like pull this off. Holy shit. But
it. Mhm.
the very beginning was a little shaky. There was like a call that we were like not in love with. And then it's like they felt like the refs threw a bone to the Eagles then after that. And we're like, okay, fine, we'll give like the Chiefs an unfair call then too. And then pretty shortly after that, they started scoring and then they just didn't stop. Like it just kept
They just
going.
kept scoring.
We were in such
Yeah,
good
it was
shape going
crazy.
into halftime, and then by the third quarter I was like, oh my god, okay, like we're trying to like count down numbers and we're like, there's no way they, like, literally, even if they had the ball the whole time, they wouldn't be able to. Like, it's like an insurmountable lead. I almost thought they were going to shut them out at one point. I was like, are they really going
I
to
did
like
too.
not even score?
At one point, it was like what, like almost 40-0. I was like,
Yeah, it's
oh
crazy.
shit, like this is like next level.
Yeah, pettiness, that was the theme of
Kind of.
the entire Super Bowl. The
It was
whole
petty.
thing was just
I
like
kind of loved it.
hater energy and
Ooh,
pettiness.
yeah. So, what were some of your highlights of the Super Bowl, other than maybe the game? Like, what were some of your fun, maybe pop culture moments that you were like, oh shit, like wow, commercials.
Yeah.
What was your favorite?
um let's see, Lady Goo performing on Bourbon
Of
Street.
course.
Yeah.
Oh God, the
So
only song that's on 20
now,
Billion
hold
Reasons.
my hand. Yeah.
Literally,
I don't even know the
give
words
me
still
a
because that's,
break.
I feel deeply that
I don't
that
either.
song is like culturally not for me. That's not really my
Not for us. It's her one and
ministry.
only song. It's not for the gays.
No, it's for the straights, very
For the
decidedly
straight.
in that column. So it makes perfect sense that she was playing it at the Super Bowl because why not?
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
Although pre-recorded, question mark, because I'm pretty sure that we
Yes,
saw
it was.
leaks of like her in that giant, Scary Movie 3 hat, whatever, like a day or two before. And then she was at
Just
the
kept
game
getting bigger and bigger.
with Doechii, question mark, right? There were like
Was
pictures of
that
them
who she was? I
together.
don't know. I
And then
mean,
she had like the
probably.
black wig on, so like she definitely, that was before after there was change, but yeah.
Yes.
So that was definitely a highlight for me, even though you and I were just sitting there like dragging it the whole time. We were
Yeah,
like,
I
what
mean
is she doing?
that is definitely my least favorite Gaga song, maybe ever. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not great. It's just hold my hand, hold my hand, hold my hand. I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah. It's giving like
It's
gas station. Like that's what you like,
yeah,
you hear
yeah,
that while you're like pumping
yeah,
gas.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not for me.
You
Um
hear that at like a bonfire before a football game in high school, drinking with your friends out in the country.
Great.
Yeah,
Um,
great.
I mean, it was nice of her to do, and it was nice of her to like do that as like a tribute. I thought that that was good. I really do feel like her career more and more, and with each like move that she makes, is trying to position herself as like this like legend for the ages. Like, she's like, I work with these big like legendary names. I've like am trying to be. I want you to think of me as peers with like these like old school like long time, like decades long legends. She's not a flash in the pan, honey. I mean, in the same way Beyonce does, as we've discussed many times on this very pod. Like, I want to be respected and loved by legends. And unfortunately, part of that means catering to straight people occasionally. So, I understand.
I get it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I would
What
argue
else?
that that's what A Star Is Born was too. I just
it was.
also
It
liked
was.
A Star Is Born because I thought that music was good.
I thought
Allie Main.
her performance was obviously incredible. Probably her only performance that was incredible, but
Yikes.
it was. Yeah.
There's time. There's time for her.
There's time. I'm trying. Oh, I mean, the other big thing that happened, I would say, is Taylor getting booed and her just being like,
"That's crazy."
Hello?
That's crazy. But honestly, even more so than her getting booed is then the president literally like tweeting out about it, about a private citizen being like, she got booed. Everybody hates her. I'm amazing. I'm like,
but everybody loves me. Like, honey, what? Huh?
Hate. Loathe entirely.
Loathe entirely.
Truly. I saw some stuff online about how the broadcast, which was on Fox, thank you very much, like played canned applause over his like cuts to him when they would cut to him in the audience. Like they played because the clips of people who were there were booing the hell out of him.
Yeah, that's actually great.
I'm like, that's so crazy. Like they're propaganda at work, honey.
Propaganda.
Yeah, no, not great. Speaking of not great, I will say, like, as much as I enjoyed the game and a lot of the, like, kind of, pomp and circumstance around it, I felt like the commercial game was not very strong this year. Usually there are these, like, memorable, like, slays of commercials, and I'm like, there weren't really that many, like, great ones.
That's true. Maybe it was because we were at a party, too, and we were just, like, chatting in between, but, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I also feel like they dropped all the big trailers the week before.
They so did.
Like Jurassic World, Fantastic Four, like we already got those the week before. Jurassic World trailer, honey.
Yes, baby. Oh, God.
Johnny Bailey.
Yes, this trailer brought to you by Slutty Little Glasses.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah, I love them.
Little Atlantis, Milo's adventures.
Mm-hmm. You're like, honey, that is not Atlantis.
That is not Atlantis.
Yeah. No, I mean, that trailer looked really good. I thought the Fantastic Four trailer looked really good. I mean...
It did. I mean, it looked okay. The more I like pondered and watched it again, I was like, I mean...
I like that it's like a period piece. I like seeing the like 1960s of it all.
I do too, but it's like, wow, they're copying The Incredibles, and it's like, The Incredibles is still going on. I don't know. It's like, it's just weird. I don't know. Disney's like, I feel like they're just grasping for straws right now. Like, they're just trying to do any, like...
Well, you know what felt like that to me?
That they could.
I felt like that other Marvel, whatever it was called, The Leftovers. What is it? The one with
Oh God. I mean, with what's her name?
Yeah.
Yep, her.
Yep, from Dune.
From Dune. Blondie. Florence Pugh. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. You want to talk about scraping the bottom of the barrel and like being desperate? I'm like, what is this, like, the phrase the kids are using, reheated nachos? I'm like, what are these reheated nachos of like the dregs of an old rejected Marvel movie, and we're supposed to watch this? Like, I would rather watch Fantastic Four. I don't know. At least Pedro Pascal is hot. I'm like, come on.
That's true. You know what I'm kind of bummed at though? Who's the fire guy? What's his name? Johnny something Storm? No, I don't know. Maybe.
I think so.
The Fire Boy.
Yeah.
Is it? Well, I just feel like he should have been way hotter.
Yeah. I mean, nothing will top Chris Evans. Talk about a sexual awakening. Honey.
No. Exactly. Honey.
Yeah.
When he's in the elevator and he's like,
yeah.
Boobies.
Yeah. God. He was...
God.
That's America's ass.
Yeah, hot.
Yeah. Yeah, he was bae in that movie. Definitely had some thoughts about that as like a 14-year-old or whenever that came out. That's crazy. Ugh.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I loved it.
But yeah, so yeah, Johnny Storm, I feel like should be like a dreamboat.
Yeah.
Sue Storm. I mean, yeah, like whoever did her hair.
The beachy waves of it all.
What the hell?
What are we?
The beachy waves of it all. We're in the 60s, I thought.
Honestly, I'm like, give me a bufanda.
Like big. Yes. It could have been really. cool, but I don't know. Even in like WandaVision, I feel like, they went through like the
Yeah.
decades and like the styling was so good, the hair was so good, the makeup was so good.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just like, why would they ever choose to do this hair and makeup? I
You
just
know,
don't
it's
get it.
so interesting because I would say as like a costume designer, I would like almost always blame stuff like that on the actor themselves because of course the actor has
Mm.
a say in what they look like. And so often, I'm just gonna like generalize, but in my experience, it was like women are really particular about the way that they look and are perceived. And, there are certain period styles that are not super flattering. I happen to love 60s hair, but I could see the actress being like, I'm sorry, I need something a little bit more contemporary. But I didn't even realize this, and I was doing some research. The actress who's playing her played Princess Margaret in The Crown, so she did like period
Right.
hair and wigs and stuff. So I'm like, it's not
Mhm.
her. Like, I think she would have went there. So I don't know. Some
Yeah.
Marvel exec or something was like, she needs to be sexier, and then like gave her beachy waves. That's like my thought. Which, shut up.
Shut the hell.
Yeah.
No.
But you know what?
Why?
I mean, Pedro Pascal's bringing the sexy. I love the like white
Yeah,
temple on him. It's
I
so
do
good
too. Silver
for
Fox.
Mr. Fantastic. Ugh.
Yeah, he looked he's definitely going to be a highlight. I did try to watch Gladiator 2, by the way, just because he was in it, and I like Paul Mescal too. Honey, I turned that shit off after 20 minutes. Not even 20 minutes. I was like, this movie is terrible.
That good, huh?
It was not good. It was not good. He started fighting a CGI baboon, and it was just too
Oh,
much. I was like, this
brother.
is clearly. I was like, what are we doing here?
Yuck.
I think, is that the director who did the live action Aladdin? I believe it is.
Guy
But
Ritchie?
you could kind of tell. I think it is Guy Ritchie. No? Maybe. I don't know.
Wow. It was,
Don't quote me on it. It was not great.
yeah, that's a shame. But I mean, Pedro's really hot, so I'll take it.
Yeah.
And Paul Mescal is really hot too. I love it.
Paul is, yeah. He's like, sometimes his acting is too much, though. He's just doing a lot of wailing on screen.
His actors on actors with Ariana Grande was so funny. Did you watch it?
It was really funny. Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
so just like, uh,
Yeah, they're like, what do we talk about?
yeah. It's like, stop
Yeah.
trying to make Glicked happen. It's not going to happen.
It didn't happen. Like, Wicked is that bitch, and
It just
Gladiator could.
dominated. Yeah, just like ate it up.
Yeah, ate it
And
right the fuck up.
here's hoping it continues to do so, although it did not do so well at the various award shows this past weekend because we had Critics' Choice over the weekend. And,
Thought it did well.
well, John M. Chu finally got his flowers for directing, which he deserved. And it's kind of crazy because I'm like, oh, okay, so critics believe in it and think that he's great, but he's not worthy of like a directing nod for the Oscars. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Like,
That is crazy.
like wild. Demi Moore for The Substance continues to do well. I mean, I feel like she's got it on lock now for the best actress. I feel
Oh,
like that's where.
and honestly, like, I feel like Ariana too is really climbing. She's doing the work. Did
She
you see
is.
her interview with Billy?
Yes, yeah, in the suit.
It was cute. It was cute. It was also awkward, but it was cute.
Yeah, it is a little bit, but also, how about the two of them just like acting like they're fully not performing at the Oscars when they absolutely are?
They absolutely are. I know. I love those clips, so they're actually funny.
Those two girls are amazing actresses, but they're not good liars. Not the same thing.
No,
Yeah.
no, they're definitely not good at
They're like,
liars, but
I don't know where somebody would get that from. That sounds really cool, but we're definitely not doing that. I'm like, all right.
we're definitely not bringing our tea to like make sure our throats are nice and warm just in case. But yeah, I was like, okay. So
I will say, if they knew what was good for them and they were smart, they would release a teaser after the Oscars or during the Oscars. Because it's like, famously, this all started during the Super Bowl last year. I get that they don't want to cannibalize the success of part one by like, pushing part two so early, but it's a fine balance, right? You want to hit a bounce at the right time, and like all eyes are still on Wicked. So like, you kind of want to like keep that going, you know?
I think they'll at least give us like a little tease, maybe like a little clip of like a song or something with
Yeah.
just like, some black screens and words. But I mean, that would be enough. If I could just hear a little 1, 2,
Yeah.
couple notes, I'll be happy, honestly.
Yeah. Specifically of like Cynthia Erivo's No Good Deed. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Ariana and Cynthia singing For Good. I mean, that would be cute. I feel like that's more likely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Considering the movie is called
Wicked. For Good.
For Good.
Yeah. I have been changed. Yep.
For Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. You sound like that
So good.
person who does the impressions of Adele Dazeem on TikTok.
Me?
Yeah.
Nice.
The person who's like, in the horse's darkest hour, the we cannot sail away. Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally what she sounds like in that
God,
movie.
poor thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
Elsa is going to be
honey.
hoofing it all the way in Frozen 3 and 4.
Yeah, she's got 2 more Frozens. How is she going to make it?
I don't know. I felt like she was struggling in the first one.
Yes.
Famously, I'm like, I love Frozen and I love the character of Elsa. And honestly, like, I do like Adele Dazeem, but it does just make me laugh because I'm like, we're supposed to believe that she's like a teenage princess. She's like 50.
She sounds like a 60-year-old smoker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, sure. Yeah, why not?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still one of my favorite Disney movies. And I will say, I really wasn't familiar with Adele Dazeem at the time that I saw Frozen, like the first time. I really wasn't. I was like, what, 2013?
Yeah.
I wasn't a Broadway baby like I am now.
Sure.
So, but yeah, no, I sort of believed it. And then I found out who she was. And I was like, oh.
What? Yeah.
What? Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I think it's just because they took more of a risk. Because it's like you look at like Kristen Bell as Anna, and it's like, duh, yeah, of course, she sounds like a perfect little princess girl. Like, makes sense. But then like, yeah, they really went there. Anyway, speaking of other incredible vocal stylings, The Lion King on Disney Plus.
Not great.
Oh my God.
Well, actually, no, I'm not kidding. Like I said, weirdly enough, we watched it the same night, not planned. But you literally texted me and I was like, I'm watching The Lion King and whatever. And I was like, oh, I literally just turned it off. I had to turn it off. After Northwest started singing, I was like, oh.
That was it. That shit took me out. I was like, get off the stage, girl.
Oh my God. Nepotism.
I mean, truly nepotism. I'm like, did she even want to do that? I don't know. I'm like, I don't want to be mean because she's a child. And I also am just like, look at her parents. Like, she had no hope. I get it. But it's still just like, what are we doing here?
It was so painful.
Yeah. Why did Disney agree to it?
They were like showing the audience, and the audience is just sitting there like.
They were definitely doing a lot of like creative editing to do like quick cuts to be like, don't look at her, don't listen to her, look at the dancers, look at the Kris Jenner filming with her phone. Like, okay.
Yes, exactly.
And every time they cut back to her, she was just like, I was like, you are off key, you are not in tempo, and what are you wearing?
Yeah, you're not dancing correctly. I mean, you're not doing any choreo. You're just jumping up and down.
Yeah.
I mean,
and of course, even that, despite all of that, when that filmed, however long ago, I remember Kimberly like posting, "I'm so proud of my little Nori. She's so amazing." I'm like, no, she's not.
So talented, honey. Is she?
No.
Is she?
She's just not. No. But I thought the rest of it was cute.
Like, yeah. I mean, I don't want to, like you said, I don't want to talk bad about a kid, but it just wasn't it. Like,
it was not giving. Yeah.
It was not giving.
Well, especially because we're contrasting with famous rival, Blue Ivy Carter. I'm like, she's at giving.
Period.
Like when we saw the like Beyonce performance at Christmas time, she was giving, honey. Like, so it can be done.
She messed up the choreo a couple times, but they did some clever edits, so you didn't see it. And honestly, E for effort. She tried it out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was giving when she needed to be giving. And that's all that matters. So,
yeah. I agree. And I also felt like she was more committed to like being like in the world of the performance. Like I felt like she was like, oh, we're serving cowgirl line dancing, doing whatever, as opposed to like Northwest, which was just like, I'm on stage.
Hi, I'm on stage.
It was very that. I was like, all right, well, Yikes. Anyway,
Yikes.
I thought the rest of it was good though. I was like, I will always like Heather Headley singing Shadowland. Girl, I was gooped.
I felt like the mics were like messed up a little bit. I love Heather Headley though. I mean, it was good, but I was like, why? I feel like the sound was off. I don't know.
Sometimes I feel like the balancing on those is a little tricky because it's like they're taking a live feed from like a live recording that was outside and then they're trying to package it for something that's like watched on
Yeah.
TV and a home speaker, and something gets lost in translation in the like sound mixing of it all. But like you can't deny the material is there. Like the voice was voicing. She sounded great.
Yeah.
I think it was, I
That
agree,
song
like
is
more of like a sound issue, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I did love though, like
Yeah, that was probably the only.
No, oh my God, Bradley Gibson, are you kidding, honey? Oh God, he's had a great.
Did I even get to him? Was he before? He was after North though.
He's
I don't
at
even
the
know.
end.
I watched it.
You said that you'd be there whenever I needed you. Yeah,
I mean, I literally just saw that movie, or I mean that Broadway show last year, and it really,
it's like
I cried a lot.
Yeah,
It is like, ooh,
yeah, it's bad.
really
Every time I see it, I'm literally like snot out of the nose.
Row.
Oh my God.
I was in the last row in the Academy of Music Theater. You know how high that thing
Yeah,
is.
you're looking
like
straight down.
I was literally like looking over a cliff.
Oh,
down
it's like
into,
nauseating.
a hole.
It scares me.
It was a lot, but it was honestly so cool for The Lion King though, because everything was just like,
Whoa,
oh, wow, fireworks going off behind.
Look at you, girl. Okay, girl, we love an effect.
That was so cool.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that was wild. Okay,
but that's how it felt. Brought to you by MasterCard.
Ooh, that was pretty good. That choreo.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I've literally been watching the choreo. That's all I do in my free time is just like watch the choreo.
it's so good. It's so good. And honestly, let's talk about it because I know we already talked about the Abracadabra music video because it had come out by last week's taping, but I feel like it deserves a second moment because I don't feel like we really, I mean, how could we, but didn't really fully appreciate what a breakthrough it was going to have because, of course, we were immediately gooped and gagged because we're fags, but like the world is gooped and gagged. Like, they're like, it's climbing the charts. Like people, it's like going viral. Like people are loving it, and like she's having a big, huge, like solo hit, return to pop music, and in a way that she literally hasn't in like 15 years. Like when was the last time she had a big solo hit that was like, honestly, it's gonna go number one. Like
it definitely is. Like I don't think since like Born This Way. Really.
Literally,
like I don't.
And like the song "Born This Way" specifically.
I don't think really went that far.
No,
I don't like nothing on Our Pop did.
Nothing on Our Pop. So, nothing on Joanne.
What about Rain on Me?
But there wasn't a solo. It was with Ari.
True.
And same thing with Shallow. Shallow was incredibly popular, but it was Bradley Cooper and it was from the movie. So it was like, that's different. I'm like, when was the last time she just like put out a solo banger from like an album of hers that like exploded like this? It really was like Born This Way. Like,
yeah.
crazy.
What song on Born This Way?
Probably I think literally Born This Way.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah. Which is just crazy. I'm like, I mean, go off, Queen. We used to pray for times like this. Like,
oh, me too.
We're so back. I'm like, I love it. You know, it's so funny because I keep seeing people tweet this and I'm like, I really feel like that between the Grammys, between Gaga's like ascent, reascent, whatever, and like the Super Bowl turning out the way that it did, it was like, we're living in the timeline where Kamala Harris won. These things are cracking through. Like these things should have been in that timeline.
Yeah, definitely like there's a parallel timeline, two timelines happening at the same time. It's very weird.
Like breaking through. Yeah, it's very weird. Which is why it makes me nervous for the Oscars because I was like, it can't just keep going so well. The shoe's gonna drop. Something horrible is gonna happen. Like it's literally gonna be like Amelia Perez wins like Best Actress, Best Picture, Best New Song. Like
just sweeps it. Very nice to meet you. What about for that song?
Song. God, ridiculous. I saw Katya tweeted, she was like, if it wins any awards other than worst piece of shit that's ever been pooped before.
Smelliest piece of shite.
I'm like, it's so funny how many people are just like hating on it now. It's so good. I love it.
So bad.
But it's awful.
I
So
still haven't
yeah,
even watched that. Yeah, it's
I
just
can't bring
not.
myself to. But I do feel like you and I,
I
as
can't either.
critics of culture, we should be, acquainting ourselves.
Okay. And we're back.
And we're back, honey. After that
And
minor
we're back.
little
And
tangent. Something I was thinking about that's so cool though is I love that Jalen and the Birds got to go to Disney World today.
oh my god, yeah.
So
I watched
cute.
the whole thing live. It was so
Yeah,
cute.
always serving a
Was he the
fit.
only one there though? He was
I
the only
think
one
that the
there.
others are invited and are there, but he gets to ride the float because he's the MVP.
Oh, see, I thought the whole team was going to be in a parade, and I was excited for that, and then it wasn't that.
Yeah, but the whole team will be in a parade in just a few days right here in Philadelphia.
Girl, I don't know if I got another one in me.
I stand by what I said
I
last
don't
night
know.
when we were out in these streets in the 20-degree weather and it was like going on 3 a.m. I was like, girl, I'm good on any parade. I feel like I've done my rah-rahing for the Eagles. I think, we're
Yeah,
good.
like the fact that we had to walk around the city to get an Uber for, I don't know, what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
can't do that again. In the freezing cold. Oh my God.
Yeah. It
That
was
was
not giving.
absolutely insane. It was not giving.
Yeah.
It was giving, like you said, until it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm like, it was fun when we were further south. I feel like we should have just stayed in South Philly. That's really where the heart and soul of the Birds are anyway. I'm like, I don't need to be at City
I will
Hall.
say, I will say, if we do the parade on Friday,
Do
yeah, we
do.
can just if we do do
Mm-hmm.
if we do the parade on Saturday, or I mean on Friday, we should just stay south. We should definitely not even go anywhere near that shit.
Yeah, like I don't need any of that. I feel good about not doing that. I mean, listen, we got to, cheer them on and like, walk through the streets and see the fireworks and all that stuff like firsthand. That
Yeah, the
girl honking
highlight.
her car
The
horn with her ass.
yep, that's what I was gonna say. The highlight, definitely the girl in her car, like slamming on the car horn with her ass cheeks. That was the highlight for sure. Amazing. Only in
Philly, I love
Philly.
you. Never change.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never change.
never change. I love it. I'm still repping the Birds today. Got my Kelly Greens on.
Well, I haven't changed. I'm still wearing my green pants.
Ooh, okay, crust. I love it.
Monday.
And I have my
Yeah.
little Jalen MVP hoop in too. Trying to
Oh,
feel.
cute. Wait, I didn't know that you had that. Oh, just a regular hoop. I can't see it. Your screen is a little pilly. It's a little pixelated.
Do like one of the influencer girlies, like where you hold the
Wow, that
palm up.
helps. That helps so much.
Yeah.
Now I now I can really see it.
Now I can definitely see it. I gotta say,
Now I
this little hair of the
can
dog is doing the trick.
Oh yeah, I feel 20 times better than earlier today. Than during work. I will say I was struggle bussing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But again, I really do blame it mostly on like lack of sleep. And also just like miles. We literally walked. I was looking at a map today. I'm like, we walked like the better part of like 4 miles from South Philly up and around to the Parkway. It was crazy.
Well, from midnight to like when we got home. Let me see how many steps we almost walked 10,000 steps. 8,200.
Insane.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm feeling all 8,200 of them, honey. My legs, my
Oh,
cheeks are sore. Yeah.
oh yeah, your cheeks are really probably frostbite a little bit.
True. Yeah. Um, but
True.
you know what? All in preparation of Walt Disney World. I'm so bummed that I'm missing them by a week. Like literally, there was when I booked this trip that I'm going to next week, I was like trying to decide between this coming week, like as in today, or like next week, and I went with next week, and I'm like, damn it, what if I was there literally today and got to see the
Right?
parade?
Yeah, I mean that would have been amazing. But then you would have missed the Super Bowl, maybe.
Yeah. And it was really cool even to see from a distance, like all these clips on social of like just literally people in head to toe Kelly Green, like Birds gear at Magic Kingdom on the hub lawn doing
That
the
was
Eagles like battle cry. Like I was like, this is honestly incredible. Like
really what.
I don't know that you could really make a more perfect Venn diagram of like our interests and our life
No, that's so
right
true.
now. Like, it's
And then
literally
seeing
just
like
like
Jalen riding Tron, like I was just like, oh, this is like
he was giving. Yeah.
so magical. I was like, wow.
His little commercial made me like misty when they like show the like clips of the like game and then him being like, I'm going to Disney World. I was like, ah!
Me too.
Cute. He's so cute. Ugh.
He's so freaking cute. I mean, our whole team is just wow.
Yeah. You know who's not?
Woo!
The
It's
Chiefs.
getting hot in here. No,
Yeah.
it's the opposite. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It was not great. But it was so fun to trash talk the whole time because we were the whole time.
So, well, you know, Eagles fans are just ruthless, and honestly, that's
Brutal.
why they hates us. But whatever.
And as the better Kelsey always says, nobody likes us and we don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah. No one likes us. We don't care.
we don't
Yeah.
care. We don't give a rip.
Yeah.
Who gives a rip?
Speaking of cultural moments that we didn't discuss as part of the Super Bowl, we got to get into that halftime show, mommy.
Yeah.
Let's discuss.
I feel like during it, I was just like, okay, I can't really hear.
Yeah,
It seemed like low volume to me.
I agree.
But then I watched a TikTok breaking it down today, and like all the meaning behind it, and I was like,
The
oh, actually,
analysis.
it was pretty meaningful and
Yeah.
powerful. So yeah, I mean, I liked it. You know, like we were discussing last night. I mean, you know, I'm just always here for like a girl pop star performance at the Super Bowl. Like that's really what I want. But
I
it
just
was
want
good.
that level of showmanship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want that
Yeah.
level of spectacle. Like, you know, like, is Madonna my favorite artist? No, but her Super Bowl was like spectacular. Katy Perry,
Yeah.
spectacular. Like, Gaga,
Beyonce,
obviously.
twice.
Beyonce, both times. Like, the women are
Exactly.
just going to like give you, and if you're a man, there's like a very
Rihanna.
specific genre of man that it needs to be, and it's literally like The Weeknd, Bruno Mars, like people who are giving you like big visual spectacle. Like, I don't really, I mean, there was some cool symbolism for sure in the costuming and kind of the movements and like shapes that they were giving and stuff.
Yeah.
But like the stage all being flat was definitely a choice. Like, I really could have done with some more like levels, I felt like.
Yeah, I agree.
I felt like the Samuel L. Jackson thing was like cool the first time, and then by like the second, third, fourth time, I was like, we get it. Like,
Your Uncle Sam, we know.
yeah, I was like, okay, like enough. Like, I don't know. I also, again,
The vocal or lack thereof, because she was lip syncing, but
yeah, that's
yeah.
see, that's another thing too, is that men aren't going to give you, you know, costume changes like women are. Like, women are going to give you like, you know, look after quick change after whatever, and like that's, you know, what I feel like the Samuel L. Jackson of it all should have been, is that it's like, oh, we're using this to chew up camera time while someone's getting changed or whatever, and then it was just like him strutting around in those flare jeans, which I'm sure the search for those jeans went up 10,000% after that performance, honey. Everybody wants flares now.
They were Celine, I believe.
I saw. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they were cute. I love a nice little flare.
They're cute. They are cute.
They're
And a
cute.
light wash. Light wash is here to stay, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period.
It's crazy how tiny he is. Like 5'6".
I know. Well, I mean, so am I, honey.
Little, just prancing
Don't
around.
hate.
Me. Yeah. Like,
Pocket gaze. Don't hate us.
no hate. No hate. Yeah, just love and respect. It was a good performance. Do I think it falls in like, you know, the like icon, you know, pantheon of the greats ever? No, I don't. I'm sorry. And I know I might get some smoke for that. That's fine. I also understand that I'm not the intended audience of like every piece of art that's ever made. Although I will say, as the main character of the universe, you know, I just want to be impressed. So
Exactly.
yeah. No, I mean, it was good. It was fun. I look forward to seeing Ari, Miley, Taylor, somebody, whoever hasn't done it yet, that's like a big pop girly, doing it next year.
I mean, just give us Beyonce and Lady Gaga like alternate every year. I'll be great with that. That sounds perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. NFL, are you taking notes? Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. They're not. They're like, these couple of faggots. Yeah. Not taking notes from you. Yeah.
Like the least paid attention demographic for them. Anyway.
Truly, which is why we end up with halftime shows like Justin Timberlake, like, you know, I don't know. It's just
Did
Not
Drake
good.
ever perform the Super Bowl? No.
No,
And now he won't ever be.
definitely not. Yeah. Yeah. So crazy. God. Rip.
Remember when you used to love him?
Yeah. I mean, there was a different time where he was like not the worst. Like it was
That's
like
true.
standard level of like shit talking. It was like standard level of like boisterous, overconfident
Yeah.
rapper being like, "Oh yeah, I'm hot shit. Like look at me, whatever." And he was hot shit, and he looked really good. And now he's allegedly a predator. It's just not great.
Yeah. Times have changed.
They really have.
They really have.
I'm like, it's so many of these people have had such a fall from grace. I mean, Kanye West, Jesus Christ, he's out here literally selling swastika T-shirts on his website. Which honestly, I am mad at myself now. I wish I could take those words back because I'm like, I don't even want to give it attention because that's obviously what it's for. Anything to stay fucking relevant. That loser, like, just so ridiculous. I'm like, okay, sure.
And it's just like his poor. I mean, is it? I mean, whatever. She made her choice. Is it his wife? Is it his girlfriend? I don't know. But I'm just like, blink twice if you're like okay, because that what he did with her on the Grammys and like parading her around. Like, I mean, she was literally. Let's just say what it is. She was naked. Like, she was literally like naked. That was not a dress. Like, it, boobs out. Like,
Yeah,
I was like, wow, that's just like, and you know that he dressed her. Like, you know it. She had nothing to do, like, she had no say. And that is just kind of sad and messed up.
yeah.
Like, whatever you
I hate it.
hate it.
Hate. Yeah, it's not good. Um, so I would say, moving on to something else that's a little bit less controversial, but perhaps equally stimulating. I read a really interesting article today that I wanted to wait to share with you until we were together to get your like real-time reaction to. I saw some of the like blogs talking about it, and then I went to the original source material because I don't want to, digest second and third tier. I want to like the prime source material. So the original article, I gagging saying this was in the Wall Street Journal. Like, since when do I read like financial news? And no, I don't have a subscription to it, but I was able to like get past the paywall and read it. But it's called "Even Disney is Worried About Overcharging for Vacations," and it's like a whole article of like people off the record that are like high ups, like shareholders and executives at Disney, talking about how like they're worried that they're starting to lose their grip on like their core demographic, i.e. like the American middle class, because they're pricing them out of being able to come. And like one of the quotes in there was about how people should, their goal is that they want to like, instill a like repeat customer year after year, and they want families to come back to Disney World every year and have like memories made and do this together every single year or whatever. And like in the way that we were so fortunate to be able to do in like the 90s and 2000s growing up, like families can't do that now. And it's increasingly like a smaller and smaller slice of families being able to do that. There's like, if they do go to Disney, it's certainly not every year. It's also certainly not for a full week. Families are going for like 3 days, 4 days. And it's like every 2, 3, 4 years. And then the other years, they're still going on vacation, but they're like going to Europe, like doing something else because their dollar is stretching further. And I just thought it was really interesting because like kind of ballsy to even put an article out about that, because it's very like, we're all trying to find the guy who did this energy. And it's like, hello, like the call is coming from inside the house, Mary.
I mean,
like, why do you think people can't afford to go to Disney anymore? Like,
yeah, I mean, capitalism, honey. Like, that's what it freaking is. Like, I mean, that's our country in a nutshell. Like, Disney is literally the biggest company that this country has ever produced, probably ever. And like, yeah,
certainly in entertainment, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I 100% like think something needs to be done. I think they like finally reached like that ceiling of like, okay, you literally cannot nickel and dime people like this, like for too many more years. Like, moving forward, you need to like dial it back or level it out. Like, people, I can't even tell you the last time that I was at Disney World for a full week, probably since I was like in 6th grade. Like, it's just not something that like we even think about being able to afford anymore. Like, being there for like 6 days in the parks or like 5 days in the parks, even like in a row. Like, that's just not something I even consider anymore, to be honest. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I hope that like, Disney execs and like, insiders are rethinking. Like, I think this was also all a kind of a side effect from Bob Chapek's era. Like, I think he was really all about that financial bottom line more than a lot of other CEOs that they've had in the past, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, ugh. It's
Yeah.
really, it sucks because like that's like where I feel like, obviously we love Disney so, so much. Like, I love it and I always will. But also, part of me is just like, what? Like, ugh, they make me so angry with, especially with that kind of stuff. Like, the nickeling and diming of, like, their customers. And it's just, I don't know. I know, like, there's nothing like it. And, like, you're really, like, paying for just, like, that special, like, experience. And there's, like, there's nothing like it. So I get it in a way, but at the same time, I mean, you could spend way less and I don't know, like go to Europe, like you said, like do anything. Like so many other vacations, going to Tokyo. I mean, that was way cheaper than going to Disney World for a week. Like way cheaper.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's like a disconnect between like perception of value and the offering of, these additional perks, as it were, because there's so many things now that still exist that have always existed, but now they're behind a paywall when they didn't used to be. So that's one thing,
Yeah.
because there's people who do have that generational connection of like, we used to go every year growing up, except now I can't take the like bus for free from the airport to my hotels, or like now I can't use a fast pass system for free without having to pay for it, or the list goes on and on forever. Like, so that's one thing. But then I think it's fine to want to increase your like premium offerings. There's always going to be a market for it because they are so omnipresent. As we said, they're the biggest company, so everybody from the top 1% all the way to the most like budget conscious family like is interested in going to Disney World, and they should have options for all of them. There should be
Yeah.
options for people to say, yeah, I only go to Disney and do the VIP tours and cut the lines every day, and I only stay at the Grand Floridian for 10 days, 2 full weekends in like a 3-bedroom suite. And that's wonderful. But the problem is that it's getting increasingly like that's the only way to do it.
Option. Right.
Like, and if you want to do any of the like quote unquote free, I would say maybe more accurate, like included options, like it's not really a sustainable or accurate like way to be able to do Disney then. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I say this as someone who stayed in their first All Stars hotel a couple months ago,
And
and like, it's just I had never stayed there before, and I'm not knocking it, but like, and it is affordable. Like, it's objectively like
yeah,
it's an affordable hotel, but like the trade-off is so many things that it's like, okay, well then you have to wait so long to get to where you're going, and buses and everything, and then if you're not going to shell out on top of that for like lightning lanes for things, then like you're wasting so much of your day waiting for buses and waiting in lines. And then when you're charging $200 a day to go to one park and you got to ride what 3 things or something, it's like, what are you? That's value.
yeah,
Like that's what we're getting out of
that's
it. I
a
don't
lot.
know. They're also
It's
just
also
doing
crazy.
less and less in the parks. There's less like options for people to spread out and do stuff at.
Oh, for
I'm like,
sure. And you have to be a technical wizard and know the app inside and out to even have an like somewhat enjoyable day there, honestly. Like it's you can't just like walk into the park nowadays, which is really sad because like that was part of the magic. I feel like when you were going as a kid in the 90s, like you didn't know what your day was going to hold, but it was exciting. Like you were like, well, I hope I get to ride this, hope I get to ride this, like whatever. But your day kind of was just very spontaneous, and now you like just have to plan everything so far in advance. It really like takes the magic away in a lot of ways. It's just I don't know. They got to do better. They got to figure it out. Like I understand that technology now does need to be involved in some capacity, but I just think it's too much now. Like
yeah,
the virtual queues, lightning lanes, the dining reservations, like it's just crazy.
I think to put a positive spin on all of this before we just like hate on them entirely
Shit.
for hours. I think I am eager and curious to see what kind of effect the next several months of the economy are going to have on all of this, because we are like of course, barreling towards a recession. Can't imagine why. And also because Epic Universe is opening in a couple months. And while they aren't a direct competition, Disney is obviously already feeling the squeeze because they are trying to get butts in seats in hotel rooms and everything this summer. They are giving away dining plans. They're letting people go to the water parks for free. They are like lowering, they're doing 35% off rooms and stuff. Like they are trying to get people to come to Disney World. So it's clear that they are perceptive of that and are trying to make some strides to do so. I think, it's several months old at this point, but I do think their new reimagining of the Lightning Lane multipass system is an attempt to take feedback of like, hey, yes, technology needs to be used and we want to be able to offer this to people, but you don't need to spend your entire day on your phone. You can book it before you get here and have that sorted before you arrive. Like, I do think that they are showing some openness to customer feedback, wanting to still be competitive in the space and hopefully still trying to offer an enjoyable experience to guests. But if we do take an economic downturn, and especially if they're starting to feel the pressure from their competition, I am hopeful that they will continue to make improvements to like guest experience. I don't think it will ever go back to the way that it was. That's just not how innovation and companies work. But hopefully new offerings that they're giving us are things that like, take customer feedback and make it a more pleasant experience to like vacation there,
I do know. And I certainly have filled out a guest experience survey.
I do every time they ask, honey.
Every time.
I'm like, I'm your valued guest.
Listen to me. I spent way too much money for this.
Yeah. I take it seriously. I'm like, I'll sit down for 45 minutes and
I did it in the airport. Last time I was there, I filled it out while I was waiting for my flight, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be brutally honest here, because you have to.
It's worth it sometimes. I got paid one time from doing a Disney thing.
Oh.
I got reached out to by, it was like Disney products, because they were asking my opinions about like Disney designer dolls, as you can always see featured prominently. And they were asking about like it was very similar. It was about like perception of value and like how much would you be willing to pay for something and what's more important to you in this and that and whatever. And it was really cool. And they gave me like a credit that was like, I don't know, it was like $150 or something.
That's really great. Cool. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah. So moral of the story, it pays to give feedback and they clearly are receptive to it. So that's totally.
Well, that's great. I mean, that makes me hopeful. I mean, seeing that article, I mean, who knows? Maybe in a few years we'll be more excited and just, feeling better about it and going. I don't know. I think that's why I've like slowed down going for the past few years. I mean, I've gone like twice in like 3 years. I guess that's still.
It's a lot for an adult with no children. I guess that's a lot. Yeah, because it's still great and it's always going to be great. That's the thing. I always, when I revisit critiquing things that I love, like I do it about Gaga, I do it about Beyonce, I do it, about Disney, whatever. Like there's like that iconic, James Baldwin quote where it's like, I love America and that is why I reserve the right to criticize her because I love her and like I want her to be better. And I'm like, that's it. Like I feel the same way. I'm like, I love Disney, I love Walt Disney World, I will never not. But like that's why I'm like, step your pussy up, girl. Like
period.
And
that's the tea.
That is the tea. So with that said, we'll take a little moment and then we'll come right back for Drink or Drag.
Category is dance
or die. And we're back. Welcome back, Honey Bun.
Welcome back, honey.
Yes.
It's that time.
It is that time. We're going to do our Drink or Drag kind of in theme. Well, mine is in the theme of the Super Bowl. So my Drink or Drag for you this week, honey, is in thinking of the Super Bowl and great performances of halftime shows past, there are some very like prominent names that still have never done it before. And as we're thinking about like, people who are legends, people who have a broad discography, who have a pretty broad appeal. And in my opinion, what makes one of the great kind of Super Bowl like halftime show performances is that it brings a new audience, a new set of eyes into, an NFL event. So if possible, personal feelings aside, Drink or Drag, Taylor Swift headlining the halftime show in the future?
Ooh, I mean, my gut always is going to say drag anything that has to do with Taylor Swift.
Including her
However,
boyfriend's wig.
right, exactly. Oh my God, he went and got his Turkish plugs, honey. He looked absolutely insane. Anyway, but I do feel like there's no denying she is a pop superstar and a very prominent figure in pop culture. So like I would understand, and like I wouldn't say I'd be behind it and excited, but like I would get it if she had her time to perform at the Super Bowl. Like I don't know, I feel blah about it, but I'm not gonna drag it necessarily because I do think she deserves it. But again, it's not something I'd be excited for. So I mean, do I have to drink? I mean, I will anyway because I'm almost finished. But
Yeah. I mean, I will ask then, since we're on the subject, like, present some alternatives. Who else should be up there that hasn't yet?
I mean, I want Ari, honey. She's
But
my
I feel like
girl.
we're past that. I feel like she's done being a singer. She's like, I'm not gonna go do a pop star thing now. Like, I'm an Oscar nominated, hopefully winning actress. Like, I'm not going to do.
I know that's so sad to me. I mean, I would love to see Miley up there, but again, I think we discussed this last night as well. I think she would be like a guest.
Yeah, I don't think she's big enough to like carry a full 15-minute performance solo. I mean, she could, of course, but like, I just don't think that she's gonna have the like oomph that they would want. I think she would definitely be like,
hoe down, throw down.
yeah, she'd be like second banana to somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I could see them doing like a, not necessarily like top billing, second billing, but like a co-billing like they did with like J-Lo and Shakira. Like I could see it being like her and Ari or something.
Yeah.
Being like, there you go.
That'd be ideal.
Yeah. And the audience they would bring in is specifically fags aged 28 to 34. Yeah.
Millennial fags.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anybody else really that's like to that level that hasn't done it yet. I mean, your point like about Drake, I feel like there was a time that it could have been Drake, not anymore. But otherwise, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't really feel like there's other like pop girlies that are.
I mean, I think give it a few years, maybe we'll see like Sabrina. I don't know, or maybe not. Maybe she's too bubblegum for like the Super Bowl performance. Maybe she's not. I don't know.
I could see them integrating her in a way that they did with like Britney in their 2000s, where it was like Britney and a couple of other like popular acts from the time, and there was no real headliner. It was just kind of like a bunch of people that were like on the radio at the time. Kind of like how the Grammys, they did the like best new artist thing, where they were just like here. Like I could see her doing that.
I could see that with like her, Olivia Rodrigo. Like I could see like that bunch of like Disney Channel girls that are now pop stars. The Chapel, maybe. Like I could see them doing like a group performance.
Yeah, Gen Z bitches. Mm-hmm. Honestly, yeah. I hate to say this, but I feel like we're teetering towards like a Billie Eilish Super Bowl in the next several years.
Newsville, but I love Billie. But like I just don't think that would be an exciting performance. I don't know. Although she does have some bangers. I don't know. Not necessarily this last album, but the one before for sure.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay, well, I guess we'll move on to mine.
Please do.
Mine actually is Disney World related because
great.
I just heard. Well, I mean, me and my family discussed that we might be going back in November, which I'm very excited about. And
hey there, girl.
So like
crash your family reunion.
Oh my god. But it'll be fun because my niece and nephews are now old enough where I think the last time they were there, I mean my nephews were like both in strollers, and now they're like, my nephew just turned 13 yesterday. So I think it'll be really fun for them. They could go on everything. Like they'd be into the thrill rides. They like love Star Wars. It'll be like a whole thing. But we're discussing like what we think we want to do for like, where we're going to stay. So drink or drag, staying at an Airbnb off property for your Disney World family vacation.
Yeah, that's really interesting. We talked about this a little bit. Wow. I see the value in it. Just because, like, as we've discussed, like, people getting priced out of things and people getting priced out of like quality options. And not that the All Stars aren't quality, they're a perfectly fine hotel room. But if you want to like a suite, if you want to like a multi-family, multi-generational family, all under one roof situation, you're going to pay a premium for that if you're staying on Disney property. Even in the
Absolutely.
cheapest of options, even if you are staying at like Art of Animation or something like that, it's still hundreds and hundreds a night. And so I definitely think that like there are some Airbnbs out there that are like really putting, like some cool things together with like a more affordable budget. That being said, a lot of the ones that I've seen are like real corny looking, like the DIY, like you basically have like a
Theming.
jungle gym in the living room of your
Yeah.
house. Like that's a little not for me. And also, I will say, part of what I love about Disney, and I know this is like semi unique to me, is like I love, like, I could spend an entire day at Disney World and not set foot in a park and have a blast. Like, I love resort hopping. I like exploring the
Oh, me
resorts. I
too.
like eating at the resorts. I like traveling to them on, planes, trains, boats, automobiles, skyliners, monorails, whatever. Like, and so to me, I'm like, that is a big part of the magic, which is why I also am so dedicated to like Disney World, not over Disneyland, but like Disneyland is so small and like the park is amazing, whatever. But like, I like feeling like I'm in a big bubble and it's like, oh, I can see this other hotel from this hotel and I can see the Epcot ball from here and whatever. Like, so that said, I personally would feel like if I was staying in an Airbnb that was in like, I don't know, Kissimmee or something, I would feel really like, is that like, there's like a separation from like the Disney experience there that like you don't feel when you're like, your do 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 Skyliner like rolls up and you
Totally.
get on your thing.
Well, I also think it really just like depends on like your family too, like who's going and like what they're looking for. Like for me, for my family, my brother-in-law, he's like, I don't really even need to go to the parks at all. He's like, I'll go fishing, like I'll do other stuff. Like of course, like me and my, niece and nephews and my sister and my mom will definitely go to the parks, of course. But I think we're just kind of gonna be like branching off and doing our own
Yeah.
thing. So for that, it's like kind of smart.
But yeah.
And I yes, like the Airbnbs are a little corny. I will say like what I've seen, but some of them are pretty nice. Like some of them are corny, but like they still look like pretty nice places. They have like private pools, some of them,
Yeah.
and they're literally like as cheap as an all-star resort per night. And if you're going with like 10 people, I mean that's nothing. That's dirt cheap.
Yeah, it's great.
It's crazy. So I
Yeah.
think that's what we're leaning towards doing that. And I've never done
Period.
it before, but I'm kind of excited. I feel like it could be like a cool new experience, a new fun way to do it. And we would still resort hop. We would still do all of that
Yeah.
stuff anyway. We'll rent a car. We'll be around the resort.
But yeah. I mean, I think the only like real like thing you do lose out on is like if you ever take advantage of any of those perks, early entry or late like
Yeah.
late night hours, like that's a bummer because I have taken advantage of them before and it is very nice. But I also know that like you don't necessarily need that. You and your family are pros. You know your way around. You can make an efficient day and get out of it what you want out of it without having to like be there at 7 a.m., leave there at 11 p.m., like whatever. You can totally do it. So
Yeah. We I mean I will never be like a rope dropper. I rarely use extra magic hours. Like I actually don't think I've maybe ever done it really. But so
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm not really worried about that aspect. I think the thing I'm most like, oh, well, that kind of is going to be expensive is like parking, but whatever. There's ways around it.
Oop. Well, then
Medical overflow.
I will drink to that in the same way and energy that you drank to Taylor Swift as a Super Bowl headliner. I will begrudgingly agree to its value and contribution to the discourse.
Great. This is
But I
my
am
last
eager
drink.
for you to try it, and I want to hear about all about your
Of
experience.
course. Of course. And you're going this coming weekend. So I'm very excited to hear about your trip.
Week from tomorrow, honey, I'll be there. So we're going to give you one more episode after this, and we have a good one planned. And then when I get back, we're going to dish all about farts and what I did and my little mommy and me
Farts.
trip. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I
I
love
love
it.
that. Exciting.
Yeah. Well then, at this
Wow.
time,
That episode was a little all over the place, but you know,
that's okay.
we're a little hungover. It's fine.
I think it was
Give
real,
us some.
honey.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Cut us a break.
Yeah, I'd like to see you yap into a microphone for an hour after you only
Yeah.
slept for 2 hours.
Exactly.
Big whoop.
Big whoop.
Oh, I love it. I'm so glad we got to spend yesterday together, Nikki. It was fun.
Me too. It was so fun.
Yeah, but also I'm really hurting. So that said,
I'm dying.
this was a really fun episode of Ears to It. We hope that
Super fun.
you tune in and subscribe and follow and rate and review us and give us good reviews, please, even if you didn't love this episode. But you did. They did. They loved it.
You did. You loved it.
Yeah.
You loved it.
You loved it.
Yeah.
You loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing. The fact that the Eagles posted the SpongeBob clip
Yeah.
with the Super Bowl trophy,
So funny.
that gave me life today.
Yeah, their social media team is on point. It's so good.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, on
So
that
good.
note, this was Ears to It. I'm Eric.
And I'm Nick.
And
See you real.
see you real soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.